Your kids are obsessed with Peppa Pig. You let them watch it every single day. But what nobody tells you is that the show you trust with their innocence was born from something far darker than a pink pig jumping in muddy puddles. Stay till the end, because the last part of this video will wreck you. Peppa Pig is worth $3.8 billion. Let that sink in for a second. Hasbro paid $3.8 billion to acquire the franchise in 2019. The show airs in over 180 countries. Toddlers in Lagos, Tokyo, São Paulo, and London all know the same snort, the same pink silhouette, the same round belly of Daddy Pig. It is, without question, one of the most powerful children's brands ever created on this planet. But here is what nobody tells you when your kid is sitting in front of the TV, snorting along. Behind that cheerful oink is an origin story that nobody in the Peppa Pig world wants to talk about. An origin rooted not in a bright London animation studio, but in the dark, flat farmlands of East Anglia. A story involving a little girl, a group of pigs, and a woodland clearing that still reportedly exists today. We are starting at the beginning, and trust me, you need to hear all of this. The official version goes like this. Animators Neville Astley and Mark Baker, along with producer Phil Davies, created Peppa Pig at their London-based studio, Astley Baker Davies. The show first aired on Channel 5 on May 31, 2004. The creators wanted to make something simple, a confident, cheeky female lead, a family dynamic that kids recognized. Short 5-minute episodes built around everyday life. No dragons, no superheroes, just a pig. That is the version on the press releases and the Wikipedia page. But the version they do not put on Wikipedia starts with a man named Mark Baker and a film he made 16 years before Peppa Pig ever aired. And this is where things start to get uncomfortable. In 1988, Mark Baker, then a student at the National Film and Television School in Britain, created an 18-minute animated short called The Hill Farm. Not a children's cartoon, not a feel-good story. A dark, dialogue-free film about a rural farming family, their pigs, and the brutal, unsentimental nature of farm life. In this film, the farmer's wife snaps chicken necks with her bare hands. Pigs devour huge piles of food in single aggressive bites. Hunters ride in and tear a fox apart with dogs. The comedy is dry, the undertones are grim, and the entire thing is drawn in the exact same flat, childlike, minimalist style that would later define Peppa Pig. Simple shapes, bold outlines, characters with no noses, no real detail, no complexity. The Hill Farm earned an Oscar nomination. It won the Grand Prix at the Annecy Animation Festival. The legendary Russian animator Yuri Norstein praised it publicly. Critics described Baker's style in one specific way. They said he draws in a childlike style, but the meanings underneath represent what they called a sophisticated worldview, a childlike style, hiding something underneath. Remember that phrase. We are coming back to it. Now here is where we step off the official record and into the story that this video is really about. The East Anglia region of England is one of the oldest farming landscapes in Britain. Flat, exposed, ancient, and farming communities in East Anglia carried oral traditions for centuries, the kind of cautionary tales passed down through families to warn children about the realities of rural life. Pigs were not pets. Pigs were livestock. And pigs, when hungry or frightened, were dangerous. One particular legend, allegedly predating the creation of Peppa Pig, has circulated in these rural communities for decades. The story centers on a farmer's 5-year-old daughter. She lived on a working farm where pigs were kept, and she loved those pigs the way children love animals. As companions, as friends, as something soft and warm in a hard world. When her father tagged 3 of his pigs for slaughter, she panicked. She could not stop him from taking them. She was 5 years old. So she did the only thing a 5-year-old knows how to do. She hid them. She led those 3 pigs into a nearby woodland clearing, and she kept them there. Fed them whatever scraps she could carry from the house. And to fill her time, and maybe to imagine a different kind of world for them, she decorated the trees in that clearing. She drew pictures. Pigs wearing clothes. Pigs living in houses. Pigs with families. Pigs with human lives. On flat pieces of bark and on paper she pressed against the wood. Drawings of pigs living exactly the way Peppa Pig lives. But the story does not end there. The legend says the girl ran out of food. She grew weak, and in her hunger and desperation, the pigs she had tried to protect turned on her. Pigs are not sentimental. Hunger overrides everything. She was killed in that clearing by the animals she loved most. Her father found the drawings on the trees when he went searching for her. According to the legend, people who grew up hearing this story say it was the original cautionary tale of East Anglia's farming country. Don't romanticize the livestock. Don't confuse animals for friends. Don't pretend the farm is something it isn't. So what does any of this have to do with Peppa Pig? Hold on, we are getting there. Mark Baker grew up in Britain. He spent childhood summers in rural France. At a real farmhouse he later confirmed inspired the setting of the Hill Farm. He was embedded in rural, agricultural, working-class landscapes from a young age. He knew that world. He drew that world for years before Peppa Pig existed. And here is what scholars of animation and folklore have pointed to when this legend comes up. The artistic fingerprints. Look at Peppa Pig's animation style. It is not just simple. It is intentionally, almost defiantly, primitive. The characters look like a child drew them. A very specific kind of child. One who pressed paper against bark and sketched pigs with round bodies and stick legs, giving them human expressions, human homes, and human families. The show's creators have openly said they chose a pig as the central character because it gave them clearance. Their exact reasoning, documented in interviews, was that animal characters allow the show to take a step away from the real world. A pig specifically, they said, gave permission for the messy, fun, and silly parts of life. Why a pig, though, of all animals? Why not a rabbit, a bear, a dog? And then there is the name, Peppa. Not Piggy, not Penny, Peppa. A name with no clear etymology, no famous precedent, no obvious reason for existing. Peppa is not a common British name. It is not a word. It is a sound. A name a 5-year-old girl might give to a pig she loves. And then there is Daddy Pig's belly. This is specific and intentional. Across every episode of Peppa Pig, one of the most consistent running jokes is the teasing of Daddy Pig's large stomach. Peppa laughs at it. The family points it out. It is gentle mockery, but it is constant. In a show designed for 4-year-olds, where every creative decision has to earn its screen time, this is not an accident. Children do not naturally fixate on a father's belly. That detail has to come from somewhere. The theory suggests it mirrors the legend, a farmer's large build, a physical detail burned into the memory of a girl who watched her father work the land, a detail embedded unconsciously into characters meant to reimagine that world as safe and loving, rather than what it actually was. Now here is the part that makes the hair on your neck stand up. Peppa's voice. Since the show began in 2004, Peppa has been voiced by a rotating series of young girls. Lily Snowden-Fine voiced her first, then Cecily Bloom, then Harley Bird, who started at just 5 years old and held the role for 13 years, then Amelie B. Smith, then Harriet Cox, 5 years old, same age as the girl in the legend. The production's stated reason for recasting is straightforward. Girls grow up, their voices deepen, and change. Peppa Pig, as a character, must stay 4 years old forever. So when an actress's voice matures beyond the preschool register, she is replaced with a younger girl who sounds the same. On the surface, a completely logical production decision. But consider what it actually means. Decade after decade, the show deliberately keeps the voice of that child perpetually young. That character never ages. That voice never grows up. The girl who loved pigs, who decorated trees with drawings of pigs living human lives, and who died at 5 years old in a woodland clearing, never gets to grow up either. Peppa Pig has been running for over 20 years. Peppa is still 4 years old. She will always be 4 years old. The show is structured, mechanically and deliberately, to ensure that a child's voice and a child's age are frozen in time, forever. Ancient societies built cautionary tales specifically to survive. The stories of rural farming communities were never just entertainment. They carried warnings about animal behavior, about the consequences of projecting human emotions onto livestock, about what happens when a child does not understand the boundary between the domestic and the wild. Those stories did not disappear. They do not disappear. They migrate. They find new hosts. They embed themselves inside new formats, while the surface glitters and distracts. Peppa Pig is a billion-dollar franchise. Every child on Earth knows the oink. Parents trust it completely. Nobody looks underneath. But underneath, you have a creator whose entire body of work before Peppa Pig was built around farm animals, rural darkness, and violence disguised as simplicity. You have a character drawn in the exact style of a child, pressing paper against a tree. You have a name with no clear origin. You have a pig, because the creators said it gave them clearance from reality. You have the recurring mockery of a father's belly. You have a voice that is deliberately and mechanically kept from ever growing up. And you have a region of England with a very old story about a little girl who tried to save 3 pigs from slaughter, drew pictures of them living human lives on the trees around her, and never came home. Whether the East Anglia legend is the direct seed of Peppa Pig, a parallel echo, or a chilling coincidence that the show's creators would deny entirely, it forces one uncomfortable question. How many other stories are hiding inside the things we let our children watch without a second thought? Because the truth is, the oldest stories never really die. They just wait. They find a colorful new coat. They put on a little red dress. They snort, and they let you hand them straight to your children. If this video hit different, share it with someone who lets their kid watch Peppa Pig every day and thinks they know the whole story. Drop a comment telling me which part of this locked you in. And if you want more videos pulling back the curtain on the hidden histories behind the shows, the brands, and the stories you grew up trusting, subscribe right now, because we are just getting started, and the next one is even darker than this. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.